Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to serve you all. So His Grace Ramchandra Prabhu asked me to speak on the art of implementation. So in the Upanishads, it is mentioned how to make spiritual progress: Shravan, Manan, and Nididhyasan. These are the three ways you make progress. So Shravan means hearing and reading, and also hearing from the devotees, from the sadhu sangh association, learning from there. So most devotees, if they really want to make progress, they have to start diving deep rather than surfing. So what is surfing and in hearing and reading? Because of passion, Rajogun, we like to hear and read new things every day, but not finish one work completely and not study. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says that you must complete one work completely. This means you cannot just read Bhagavad Gita, but you must study Bhagavad Gita first of all, and then move on to another scripture. So similarly, we say that if you hear one lecture, you must hear it minimum 11 times. And if you can hear 108 times, that is even amazing, because you'll really grasp all the key points there. So when we hear and read, first of all, our intention should be right. Our intention should be to make internal personal growth. Many devotees, they are hearing and reading to preach. But Srila Prabhupada always said, preach from your realization. So if you are not reading for your personal growth, internal growth, and just for telling others, then that will help to a certain extent, but your personal growth will be blocked. So the intention is very important, because the scriptures are also Chintamani. If you go with the right desire, then Krishna will show you, you need to do this, you need to do that. If you're sitting in a lecture with that intention that I want to get something to grow, then Krishna, he will, show you, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to practice. So that intention has to be right when you're hearing and reading. Then you should take notes, and you should highlight the key points in the notes, because we keep writing a lot of notes, but we don't highlight the key points. And then we have books and books or journals of notes, but we don't work on them. So like I said, the first process is hearing and reading. If you do it like this, then the second process is Manan. So say all the points, the diamond points that we have gathered from hearing and reading. So you can sit in a quiet place with all the technology switched off, and then assimilate those points. Try to understand them. See how much you have applied, how much you have not applied, how you can apply. This is called Manan. Shankaracharya says that by Manan, you get 100 times more benefit than hearing and reading, Shravan. And by Nididhyasan, which means to be situated on that platform, application, you get 100 times benefit than Manan. This means if you hear 100 hours, say you read 50 hours and hear 50 hours. But if you do 1 hour Manan, both are equal. So 100 hours and 1 hour Manan, you will get same benefit. If we go further in application, implementation, if you do 5,000 hours of reading and 5,000 hours of hearing is equal to 1 hour of application, according to Sankaracharya, right? So it's very important that what you have heard and read, you take the time to digest, just like the cow. It takes all the grass, all the food in, then it sits and brings it out back into the mouth, then churns it, right? So like this, you have to churn all the diamond points in your Manan session, reflective thinking. Manan means reflective thinking. Like Srila Prabhupada said, try to understand the subject matter from all angles of vision. We have a limited angle of vision, but when we read the same subject matter from different speakers, realized souls, or hear from different advanced devotees, then we get different angle and from on the same subject matter. So our realization of that particular point becomes holistic, 360-degree understanding as compared to our limited angle. So this is very important, that first you hear and read nicely and take points, and then you do Manan, reflective thinking. You also need to attend seminars and retreats, because in the seminar and retreat, one topic is dealt with depthly. They go in depth. So you hear a lot about the same subject matter. But many devotees, again, they go to the retreat and they say it was amazing, but never do revision. So we recommend there also that at least 11 times revision has to be done of each seminar and each retreat. 11 times you revise minimum. And if you find it good, then you can even do it more times. I know one devotee, he has heard a series of lectures, 19 lectures, each lecture 500 times. He has brought a course on that particular lecture series himself. And he's teaching all this course to his Bhakti Vriksha students, and even very new devotees. I mean, they have much deeper understanding than other devotees on the same subject matter. So it's very important that we hear, read, and revise the seminar retreats again and again. That way it will hit home. Because in acquiring knowledge, there are 3 processes. First is awareness. Awareness means you can see, but not in yourself, in others. Supposing we understand anger, then awareness means we can say, yeah, this person gets angry very quickly. That is the first stage. We can see and we can pinpoint that anger in someone else. That's the first stage, awareness. The second stage is acceptance. I can see that I get angry. I have an anger problem. I have a lust problem. I have a fault-finding problem. I have a slack sadhana, like that. You can see in yourself. And the third process of knowledge is change, changing for the better. So awareness, acceptance, and change. So most of the acceptance comes in manan, reflective thinking. When you sit down and you start churning, then it hits home, that you missed this point for so many years. Such a simple point like that, it starts. That's why it said in Gayatri Tantra, Mananat papastrati. When you do manan, reflective thinking, then the sin is exposed. You come to know what is truth and what is right and what is wrong, like that. So it's very important to do the hearing and reading and seminars and retreats and take notes, then highlight the points. And in your reflective session, manan, you sit with them and you go deep and you see what are you following, what are you not following. The third thing is personal association, associating with advanced devotees. So association means getting influenced. So it's taking association and giving association. So no matter how advanced we are, because that is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that on the level of sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti and prema bhakti, the root of advancement on all three levels is sadhu sam. That's the root. So most devotees, what they do, initially they associate with devotees, but then they just keep on giving association and miss taking association. So the roots remain same. They don't grow in depth and thickness. So there is stagnation in progress. You went up to a certain level and you get stagnated. So how to take association? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that one is platform association, where a spiritual master comes to a temple, gives a class, everyone hears. This is good. This is more like going into your hearing, reading, seminars, retreats, that kind of hearing. But he says the best association is one-on-one association with your counselor, your Shiksha Guru or your Diksha Guru or an advanced Vaishnava. Why? Because there you can do what Rupa Goswami says in the Upadeshamrita, Guyam Akhyati Prichati. You can confidentially reveal your weaknesses and take proper advice how to overcome them. So if you don't do this, then the anarthas which you have, which you may not be aware of also, will not go and you cannot make serious progress. So how do you associate with an advanced devotee? It's called the sandwich program. First, you sit down for 1 hour and write the questions that you want to ask, deep questions, which will help you make your progress. 1 hour, you just think what you want to ask and what you want to tell them about your situation. Very briefly, main thing is to have at least 3 questions which are very important for your progress and write them down. So you do that 1 hour, then you go and meet, your spiritual guide, coach. You ask them 3 questions. You take down the answers. And then again you sit after that session is complete for 1 or 2 hours. And you meditate on what was the answer and try to understand the answer and try to make a plan, strategic plan, how to bring that into your life, implementation, right? So this is the way we take association, 3 sources: hearing, reading, seminars, retreats, and personal devotee association. right? Now we will talk about Manan. We have done the Shravan part, now Manan. So what is actually Manan? Manan means questioning yourself, reflective thinking. How will the thinking go deeper? You have to ask yourself, like, when do I get angry? Why do I get angry? Why my lust is not going down? Why am I fault finding? What will happen if I don't stop this in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, or at the end of life? What will be the status of my spiritual progress? If I'm not able to give this up until the end of life, what will happen? You can draw also a graph. But to draw a graph, you have to have another thing, which is called measurement or habit tracking. Habit tracking is of two types. One is to note down every day how you did, how much hours you did your hearing, reading, when you did the seminars, retreats, how much you did the reflective thinking, Manan, how much we will go further in the next session, not today, but in the next session. We will have to prepare a knowledge sheet, a knowledge booklet, like that. So, did you read your knowledge sheet today? Did you have your Sankalp mantra, affirmation? How many times did you do it today? So these are all the positive trackings. Then we have to also put in the habit tracking measurement, the amount of fault finding we did each day and the total of the month. How many lusty thoughts and lusty actions happened each day and the total for the month. So when you sit for the session, then you can draw a graph that in January, I criticized X number of times. In February, X number of times. The whole year, so much. Compared to last year, was that less, more, or same? Like this. So this is very important. Most devotees don't measure. I was showing my measurement to His Holiness Radharaman Maharaj, who is like my Shiksha Guru. So he said, Prabhupada said that when you start measuring, that particular weakness loses its strength. When you identify that this is the weakness, it loses its strength. Say there is an terrorist. So as long as you don't know where the terrorist is in the building, he has strength. But once you have identified that the terrorist is in this room, he starts losing strength. So similarly, the moment you start identifying the anartha, the weakness, it starts losing strength because you are aware and you're not going to feed it, but you're going to starve it, right? So this is very important. That measurement is really powerful and is required both for the positive aspects of your sadhana and also your weaknesses. If you're tracking both, it's just like in medical field. We have two doctors also sitting here, one homeopathic and one Ayurvedic. Shyam Sundar Prabhu. So they always do your blood test, or in Ayurvedic, they check your nadi each time you go, how much cough, vat, pit, like that. So constant tracking is there, BP up, down, like that. So like this, you should know where you are going on the spiritual path. Am I making progress? What is holding me back? This is a good question also in Manan. What is holding me back? Who can help me with this problem? Whose advice can I take? Which book, which lecture can help me? Like this. In 23, how much do I want to cut this down? How much want to I cover this weakness? How can I improve my quality of chanting? So each year you will have a plan like that, right? So that's another thing. Goals. You must have a goal that in the next 3 months, like we just went, we had this Purushottam Mas, Adhik Mas. So everyone had a sankalpa. For this month, we will chant extra rounds, we will read extra Bhagavatam, we will do this, we will do that, right? Similarly, this is just for beginners to inspire them to come on the track. But for those who are already in devotion, they have to have this every month, every year. You have to have goals. This year, 2023, nearly more than half gone. I will work on this. In 2024, I will work on this. This is where I need to progress. Whose association, how many times I will take, how many retreats I will attend, which books I will read, how many times I will go on a personal retreat, how many times I will go for reflective thinking, like this. This is the way you have to implement. It doesn't come easy. You have to put in the effort, you know. This is Nidhi Ryasan, First Shravan, then you really have to work on Mana. Even I was reading when I came to, ISKCON, I had a habit of reading 30 pages of Bhagavatam every day. I don't do that anymore. I just take one point and then sit with that. I don't even read a page. I just, something that touches me, I just take that and sit with that. Most of the time I'm not reading and I'm not hearing. Now I'm just doing Manan and thinking how to do Nididhyasana, how to implement it. So initially you need to do a lot of hearing, because if you have not heard and not read sufficiently and not associated sufficiently, you can't do Manan. Because how will you answer the questions if you don't have the knowledge, in front of you, on the table in form of lectures and books or notes and diamond points, right? So, and books, So this is a lifetime project, to make spiritual progress. It's not a Tom, Dick and Harry job. Most of us, we spend a lot of time just in bodily activities and we hardly have time for spiritual. But that is not the purpose of human life. Human life is only one purpose, and that is Atato Brahma Jigyasa. To understand who you are, to understand who Krishna is, and establish your relationship and nothing else. Everything else is like byproduct, So our maximum time should be on this and minimum time in bodily activities. Unfortunately, we have been trained right from home and school that, we have to do this and all that. And so you may have, even devotees sometimes, they have like a career program, external program. I want to become a head pujari, I want to become a temple commander, I want to become president, I want to become GBC, These are all external. They may be there, but the real thing is internal, going in the internal growth, working on our weaknesses and strengthening our strengths. So that is very important, right? So you must have a goal. Then for the goal, it's not that you write like most people, what they do, like New Year resolution, December 2022, they had a goal. And on 1st Jan 2023, they said, this is my 2023 resolution. But they say that 93% cannot keep up with the resolution. They have a resolution every year, but they don't follow it. So to keep your goal alive, you have to have a goal card. Or you can put it also on your mobile, so that every day you see your goal. Or you can also make a recording of your goal and hear it just when you wake up and just when you go to sleep. So the goal always remains alive, that this is what I want to do, this is what I have to do, this is what I'm going to do, like this, So you have to have a goal card, goal recording, or even if you have time, you can write it every day. Written goal is very powerful. They did a research in Yale University with the students, and they found that 84% of students didn't have a goal, what they want to do in life. University students, 13% had a mental goal and 3% had a written goal. So they kept the data for 10 years. Then when everyone has gone out of the uni and started working, doing business, whatever, they took the statistics of the income. Those who had a mental goal, they were earning twice than those 84% who did not have a goal. But those who had a 3% goal, right, they were earning 10%, 10 times more than the rest average 97%, right? Now, where is this in our Shastra? It's there in the Naradya Puran, it's there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and it's there in the Chaitanya Shikshamrita. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Nirbandhini Mati. This means that on the level of sadhana bhakti, your goal must be bhava bhakti. And when you have reached bhava bhakti, your goal must be prema bhakti. And according to the goal, the effort must be there. This is called Nirbandhini Mati. And because of laziness or distraction, you must not get distracted from your goal, you know. So this is explained, this is there. You know, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is mentioning this in Vani Vaibhav, his book, right? So spiritualists have goals, you know, they also have goals. But the goal is to please Krishna, to advance and to become more competent in pleasing Krishna, right? So these are the points that we really have to start working deeply if we want to, you know, really advance. You know, if we just do what everyone else does and not dive deep, then the progress will be very, very slow, or maybe stagnation, no progress. So these are the main points, right, for today's session, that if we want to, you know, really implement, then first we have to understand clearly, you know, and then we have to make efforts that how we can imbibe those teachings, you know, whatever we have learned from our, you know, spiritual preceptors. So that is the way. And in the next session, we will talk about making like affirmations, sankalpa mantra. So some devotees say that, where did Prabhupada say make sankalpa mantra? But you see, the first two limbs of Sharanagati are anukulesa sankalpa, pratikulesa varjanam, right? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says you should take a sankalpa that in this life you will not criticize or blaspheme a sadhu, you know. And we also take sankalpa during initiation of following 4 regs and minimum 16 rounds, and that too avoiding the 10 kinds of offenses. So we are not even following that, you know. Now somebody may say, but anyway, we will not elaborate on that, but You have to, if you start diving deep, then you will know how much you are following, So if we read and we hear again and again, then we will catch. Yeah, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I haven't done this for years, So once one gets the awareness and is able to accept, that I have this problem, then he can look for a method how to change, right? So like in medicine, first is diagnosis. So manan, reflective thinking, is very, very important for diagnosis. There you can catch what you're doing wrong. And if you are very, very sincere and you can open your heart, then also your guide, your coach, Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, counselor can help you identify where you need to work. So Shivram Maharaj has written a book, Sankalpa Kaumudi, where he mentions that a devotee has to take progressive sankalpas to go up. So that affirmation, how to make that sankalpa mantra, we will talk in the next session. We will also talk about preparing a knowledge sheet for whatever you want to implement, because you have to read it every day, morning, afternoon, evening, or at least one time a day, the knowledge sheet, so that then you can follow. Because until we bring the behavioral change, knowledge is meant to bring behavioral change. And Srila Jiva Goswami in Bhakti Sandarbha, he says that the main business of the devotee is change of heart. There must be a change of heart, So, yes, there is a process and it works. This process will work if you start reading and hearing like this, doing your seminars and retreats, focusing, at least hearing 11 times and plus taking diamond points with the right intention to grow internally, associating openly, frankly with your guide, taking time. The business magnates, the top 1%, mostly Americans, right? This is what they are saying they're doing. They have a reflective thinking cubicle, manan room. This the sadhus did, They used to be in a solitary place and do chintan, manan, But these business magnates, every day they are doing. And Prabhupada has also sanctioned this, that every night you must think how much I please Krishna, what I did right, what I did wrong, be introspective. So they have a cubicle like this and they do it every day, but this is our business. But at least in the beginning, you can start off with, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Ekadasi to Ekadasi. Every Ekadasi, you should have like 1 or 2 hour slot. Then you can go from there to weekly. And then as you make progress, you can also go daily, And because it's giving you 100 times more benefit than just hearing and reading. And then also you have to work on this, what we are saying, Sankalpa Mantra, knowledge sheet, knowledge booklet, hearing lectures, habit contract, accountability partner, self-coaching, quality chanting. All this will help you to move fast and implement that, So we will deal with the other part in the next session. If anyone has questions for what we have done today, then we can do that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for this very wonderful class, extremely practical. And I'm sure today, before sleeping, I'm going to take some time and think how much I pleased Krishna. So it was very practical class, and how you spoke about the importance of going deep, not just hearing lecture after lecture or just reading book after another book, one book after another, but taking the time to think deeply and being able to identify where am I lacking. And so you spoke about the importance of Manan and Nidhyasan. So it should not just be hearing. You should be able to take some diamond points from what we hear and also see what we can implement. So I also, because you mentioned Adi Shankaracharya, I also just remembered this Bhaja Govindam Stotram. There's a very nice verse in that, in which he says that Bhagavad Gita Kinchidadhita Ganga Jalalav Kanika Pita Sakridapi Yena Murari Samarcha. So Kinchid, I was hearing about this, and Kinchid means very little. So even if we meditate a little bit on one Bhagavad Gita verse, and if we see how we can implement it in our lives, that is success for us. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. I'll just take a quick minute to announce the upcoming programs at our center. I have your permission, and then we can open the floor for question and answers. So as you can see, this is our website. It is updated almost daily. So this is a two-part session that Prabhuji is going to speak about the Sankalpa card and a lot of other important stuff on the next session. So please don't miss it. Next Wednesday, same time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So every Fridays we have Bhakti Riksha programs. If you're not connected to one of our Bhakti Rikshas, any one of our Bhakti Rikshas, then please get in touch with us. Every morning we have our regular Japa calls at 6 a.m. led by Jayadrapati Mataji, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. So please tune in. Every noon at 12, we have a 15-minute Bhagavad Gita reading. So Mondays through Fridays. And this Sunday, we have a special class, the Sunday class by Ananga Mohini Mataji. So she's going to speak on Bhagavad Gita 11:55. So please join us if you can. And that's pretty much it. Let's stop sharing. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to raise your hands, or you can unmute yourself, or you can post it in the chat. Any questions? So Prabhuji, I'll just start off with a very basic question. I've also heard Prabhupada mention that Bhagavad Gita is our law book, and he wanted all his disciples to become like a judge who can quote from the law book of the Bhagavad Gita, and he was stressing this point that we should be able to quote from the Bhagavad Gita from the back, like. So we see that we have so much literature available to us, so many books. So, and I've also heard that, in spiritual life, it is, we go in a spiral. So we just focus on one book and we try to go deep. And to your point that we should try and go deep, not just try to finish, multiple books. But in material life, it is just the opposite. We just try to read more and more and try to get more knowledge that way. So so how do we because we have so much available, we have so many lectures available, it is very easy for us to get kind of we want to hear more and more, right? But at the same time, we also want to start implementing things in our life. We want to see where am I lacking. So if you can give us some practical insight, how to balance these two aspects, how to just stay stuck with one book.
It's natural, because when we are influenced by the lower modes, like passion in the beginning for devotees, then it's natural that they want to read newer books again and again and again. But at some point, their sattva gun must be increasing, and they must adopt a sattvic lifestyle, and everything they do must be according to sattva in order to grow. So if they are associating properly with the right devotees, then that will happen. We did just one retreat, a few days back in Nagpur. So one devotee was crying. He was 23 years. In the feedback, he's saying, I made no progress. So I had so many devotees who have, opened up and said that they really were stuck for so many years. So we have to have a balance. Yes, you need to, memorize the slokas and all that. But Prabhupada said, if you understand one word, then your life will change, So we have to see if we are really growing by reading so many books, and by going here and there. So the example is given. I'll explain two examples. One is like somebody wants to have a bore well to get water. So he digs 10 feet in one place. He said, this place is useless. Then he goes and drills in another place, 15 feet. And they said, no water is here. This place is useless. Now I go another. In the end, he has drilled around 200 feet in, different places, but no water. But if he had drilled in one place, 200 feet, he would have got the water. So this is common sense. So devotees need to have this idea of the surfing concept and deep diving concept. A surfer does not get any jewels, right? Only someone who goes to the seabed will get, valuable things. So similarly, just by surfing, which is natural in the beginning, so we don't say no to newcomers, but those who are growing, it's like you should hear what Kadam Kanan Maharaj said just before leaving, that devotees need to dive deeper. It's not sufficient to just go with the basic thing. You have to go deep. So in Ujjain temple opening, Bhakti Charu Maharaj said that wise man never makes a mistake. So we should take wise man's advice. Intelligent person makes mistake but corrects himself. And a foolish person keeps on making mistakes. So we have to shift That's why our path is Mahajano Inasagatha Pantha. We follow the Mahajans, what they did. They dive deep. It's like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He had a japa vow, He sat and he realized the holy name, although he was already realized from the beginning. And each of the Goswamis did that, and Prabhupada did that, So both things have to go hand in hand. Yes, we have a preaching mission. We have to do that part also, but this. So which comes first? Which comes first? So Prabhupada has said that highest realization is to save oneself. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that whoever has taken birth in Bharat or in ISKCON, we can, expand that. Whoever has become a devotee, what he has to do? First, he has to become perfect, then help others. So it's there. If we start reading seriously, it's there. If we just want to go above, then it's difficult. If you just read the purport to Srinvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana, Prabhupada says sincere hearing and sincerity and seriousness. These are the two sutras to make progress. You have to become more and more sincere and more serious. In the beginning, it doesn't matter how you come. It's all welcome. But slowly, a person has to balance this. So now, how to balance? So I heard one class that most devotees think about preaching. And so there's two examples. There was a drought in one village. So one person had a well which was full. So he gave everyone the opportunity to put their pipes and the motor to draw water. Finally, his well went dry. So the thing is, keep yourself full and then help others. It's like you take a glass and you take a jug of water. So fill the glass, right? You keep on pouring in the water. Always keep your glass full, and what is overflowing, that is for others. This way you will never be feeling regret that I did not make progress and I didn't know how to balance. This is the way to balance. Keep yourself full. I heard also Tamal Krishna Maharaj in one Harinam Chintamani, he said that I always focused on my chanting first and I would not allow anyone to disturb me, because if I went down, then who will save them? So this is the way. First, you keep your glass full and then the overflow is for others. That is what Mahaprabhu is saying. So this is a very good strategy.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, that is very helpful. I also remembered, as Gaur Gopal Prabhu mentions in his book, Life's Amazing Secrets, how you have to balance Sangha, Seva, Sadhana, and Sadachar. So sadhana is your own personal spiritual practice. So like you mentioned, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So weak sadhana is weak consciousness. So you cannot help others if you...
Yeah, and I'm realizing that at the age of 63, I did not focus on my health, although I have said so much health, sadhana, seva. But now by the kicks of bad health, I'm learning that it goes in this sequence. First, you have to have solid health, because if your health is not good, you cannot have tivrena, intense sadhana. And then you have to have good sadhana, and then you have to do seva. Otherwise, your seva will be in rajogun and tamogun, not even sattvagun, and it will become a burden later on. So it goes in these phases: health, sadhana, and seva. And one of my god brothers, he's like a naturopathy doctor, Madhav Kirti Prabhu, he openly says that in other institutions, devotees don't get sick. And my Guru Maharaj is also preaching to me that Modi never gets sick. Are you doing yoga? And Modi has such a big load, so much politics, so much issues, and he's not getting sick. So we have missed, we have missed the point. Yeah, how can you be a yogi? Yuktahar vihara. So many things are there. So yes, this sequence, health, second sadhana, then seva.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. There's a question in the chat. We want to bring a positive change and start implementing, but it doesn't last too long. Somewhere along the line, we give up. Why? And how not to give up?
So that's why you have to have a written goal or a goal card which you read every day, and a goal recording, and you have to do your manan sometime from Ekadasi to Ekadasi, that did I make progress? Then it will catch on. Why it happens like this is because the anarthas are crushing us. Our resentments, issues, not able to forgive, so many, our psychological blocks are crushing our sankalpas, Drida Vrata, we cannot be Drida Vrata. Krishna says that one who has not been free from his sinful reactions cannot worship me with determination, So this is what's crushing us, the anarthas, the psychological blocks, they are crushing. 80% of restraint is coming from internal, from the mind, and all the diseases are also linked to that, Yesterday, one devotee asked me that I have a constipation problem. Can you give me some tips? So I said, yeah, I'm just reading. The first problem is constipated thinking. That when we cannot forgive, then we start getting all problems. And it catch on. And he said, you really helped me so much. He realized on the spot that, he's not able to forgive, XYZ. So, yeah, health problems, sadhana problems, seva problem, everything starts from inside. 80% blocks are inside. So, but if we keep on again and again, the goal, and then the reflection every week, then it will catch alive. It will catch alive. That's why you have to have the goal, hammer the goal. What you hammer at night and what you hammer first thing in the morning is going to hover in your subconscious and start pushing you in that direction. So that is required. Morning, evening, the goal has to be hammered inside. Anyway, goal card, written goal, recording, like that. That will help.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nicely answered that, yes, manan is the answer. If we think deeply about it, what is blocking my progress, we can, like you mentioned, it is the baggage of anarthas. So, I also remembered something about manan, that if we don't do manan, then we just keep hearing and just keep reading books. It's just like ISKCON se USKCON. So it was a ISKCON
or no Muskan.
We have a question from Sankari Hor Mataji. Please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my thank you for this practical deliberation today. Prabhu, we are constantly talking about progress and trying to come to a point to see whether we have made a progress. So my question is, how do we quantify progress? In my understanding, it is individual. Different people will have different goals in their lives. So what does it mean to progress, and how do I know that I am progressing? I mean, how to quantify it and how to identify it?
So our acharyas have given everything. That's why Prabhupada says devotion is a science. right? So they have given us Adau Shraddha is the first step, faith, Sadhu Sang, second, then Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, Prem. These are the different degrees of faith. So you have to go to each level. So you have to know what is happening on each level, right? So Madhurya Kadambini defines all these things very nicely. So you have to study that, and then you have to see where you are and what is the next step, you know. Like Anartha Nivritti is a big, big thing. It's like a big mountain where I'm not trying to discourage anyone, but it's like such a big mountain that 90% of devotees don't cross it. And this is also made clear by Bhaktivinoda Thakur's statement that if in one life you can get rid of one anartha, you are a gold medalist. But we are supposed to get rid of all the anarthas. And both Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Prabhupada wanted us to become perfect in one life. Means from Shraddha to Prema in one life. Or at the best, 2-3 lives. Shivram Maharaj says, and also Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur say that after 10-15 years of serious bhajan, we should be on the platform of steady devotion, nishtha. What happens at nishtha? There is no distraction. Every day your chanting is of the same quality and rising, never going down. No distraction. No anarthas disturbing you like jealousy, envy, anger, right? No laziness. You are always full with enthusiasm, you know. So like this, everything is charted out in black and white. We just have to read those books, understand and see where we are and where we have to go next. And we also have to take help from the devotees to help us go further. There are many nice seminars also, probably on the Desire Tree, on the net, Shraddha to Prema. So you can hear that and you will also know all these different levels. Also, Shivram Maharaj's book is very nice. It explains this thing, Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani. But that should be after reading all Prabhupada's books. Otherwise, we'll start jumping here and there again. So first we have to imbibe Prabhupada's book, read Prabhupada's books nicely, and then go to all these other books. I don't know who has read who, so I'm just giving a general answer, but you should clarify what you should read, like that, with your counselor, with your authority, like that.
Sure, Prabhu. I've also heard about Madhurya Kadambini, that it's a pretty high-level book. So let's first get through our Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and then we can delve deeper into that. But sure, Prabhu, that makes a lot of sense, and that's why they are called the stages of bhakti. So that taking one step at a time and try to climb that ladder up and get to the 9th stage. And I've also heard His Holiness Bhakti Vigyan Goswami Maharaj say that in one lifetime, very difficult, like almost impossible to get to the stage of prema. So yes, all the best with crossing the ocean of anartha nivritti to make that progress. So yeah, but yes, we have to be determined and just keep doing what we keep doing. And my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness, His Great Vaisheshika Prabhu, he keeps saying that keep on keeping on, just keep on doing what you're doing with your sincerity, and everything unfolds by the grace of God. So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. That was
Yes.
excellent.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. We have a question in the chat. That is okay. How to stop committing sins? For sins that have been committed until today can be wiped out by chanting going forward? So it's a question.
First thing is, why does a sin happen? So that is 3 reasons. The root is ignorance. So by hearing, reading like this, our ignorance will go and we will not read. So the first thing is ignorance. The second thing is the desire to sin, which comes from previous actions of sin, right? Kutta, bija, prarabdha, like that. And the third is the action, the sinful action, which is going on now. So by getting the knowledge and by getting the skills from your spiritual preceptors, how to control the senses and mind, when you are forced with temptation in front of you, right? Then you gradually you master that, and then the sin declines. So if you're working sincerely side by side on reducing your tendency to sin and reducing the implication in sinful action, then the chanting will help you. If you do not work on this, but think chanting will help you, that will not help you so much, because that implicates you in offense number 7. Namno baladyasya papa buddhi. Although you don't think that you will do like that, but indirectly you're just doing that. Or it's like an elephant bathing, You sin, then you get purified, then you sin, then you get purified, like that. It will go on. So you cannot make progress. So you have to stop feeding the sin. How do you stop feeding the sin? So you stop contemplating, sense objects, and you improve your bad habits of criticizing, like that, etc., like that. So it's a whole process. Each like we heard from Mataji, Shankari Kaur, see that how Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj says that one life is very difficult. Yes, because if you are not working seriously like this, but if you are really working seriously and you are in the association of pure devotees, then it can be possible. Because then the chanting can remove you from all this nonsense. So in Harinam Chintamani, it is mentioned that one who is free from 10 offenses, and this is the hallmark of expertise in devotion, that you are able to remove 10 offenses from your life. So if you remove the 10 offenses, then you are the most fortunate person in the whole creation. And very soon, Krishna's mercy will come upon you, and you will be in few days, with a little sadhana, you will be shifted to the platform of Bhava Bhakti. That is mentioned in Harinam Chintamani. So, but what is making you do the offense is the psychology. It's all the 80% blocks, the anarthas, like that. So if we work on that, and once you if you knock out one anartha, you get so much enthu and all that, then to knock out the others become easy. And we can take like inspiration from Brigari, right? From Jagai Madai, from Valmiki, right? So much inspiration is there. They did it, And so many are helping us. We will talk that maybe in the next session also. Belief booster. My Guru Maharaj is helping me, devotees are helping, Prabhupada is helping, Acharya is helping, Vrindavan is helping, Giriraj is helping, Yamuna is, so many are helping me. Why I can't do it? You have to have the confidence like that. But yes, we have to put in the work. We have to put in the time and effort. Then it's possible. And okay, not in one, then let's do it in 2 or 3.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for that answer.
We can end here?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Thank you so much again, and we look forward to hearing from you again next Wednesday. I request all the devotees to please thank Prabhuji with 3 loud Hari Bols.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Radhe Radhe.
Hari Bol.
Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe.